So this episode of Boruto, people were really expecting and hoping that one day chapter 700 of Naruto would get animated, and this episode was the closest we'll ever get to it, but it wasn't actually really an adaptation of that chapter either. There was some elements, there was some scenery, there was some events going on, but it just really wasn't a strict adaptation of chapter 700 of Naruto because they missed out on quite a few key points or whatever, and it's a shame. But I mean, as a whole, to start off, I mean, the episode is actually pretty damn awesome. I love the fact, and I'm going to throw this argument out there, and I know I'm going to start a bit of a war with people, whatever, but it's the truth, and it needs to be said, and I've said it already, and in the future, this can and probably will change, but it's the reality, because I said this, I believe, last week. Sarada really would work so much better as the main character over Boruto. The problem with that is the fact that in reality, you know, this is to make money, you know what I'm saying? They want to make money, and it's more marketable to put Boruto, son of Naruto, as the main character over some female, you know, that's the daughter of Sasuke, and I don't give a shit. Me, I'd prefer for it to be Sarada, right? I'm telling you, I like Sarada more. I want her. I wish she was the main character, but just the way it would be in mass media, at the end of the day, manga, especially shonen battle manga, is more appealed towards, you know, younger kids, younger males and shit like that, so it just wouldn't work as well money-wise, financially, if Sarada was the main character. And it's really a shame, because episodes like this where you see Sarada, she already has it together for the most part. She knows what she wants to be. She has her goal set in stone. She wants to become Hokage. She has her Sharingan. She says she's gonna master it before she reveals the fact that she has it. She agreed with her mother to keep it on the wraps and shit like that. Like, a lot of great things about Sarada. I really like the character. As of right now, when Boruto the anime started, right, I was more so like, the cast, especially at this point, because they're very different when we get to the Boruto Naruto the movie stuff, and they're even different during the, you know, Sarada Gaiden or Naruto Gaiden stuff. But at the very beginning of Boruto, it was more so like, okay, I like Shikadai just because he's just like Shikamaru, so cool. Boruto's okay. That was about it. Now I'm looking more at it like, yo, Sarada's a dope character. She is a dope character. I like really cool female characters, and she's so young, and she's pretty damn cool. Prior to the Sarada Gaiden and the latest episode, I would argue differently. I didn't really care for her like that. She just seemed bland and kind of annoying. A lot has changed with that arc, and even up until this episode again. So that's changed. And of course, you know, like Mitsuki is a really dope character, and I still like Shikadai. I wish he got more screen time. It seems as though his screen time got cut short ever since, like, towards the Sarada Gaiden stuff and shit. We haven't really got much Shikadai, which is a shame, even though we did get a little bit of him in this episode and some funny shit. I like Shikadai. I want to see more of him. And again, in comparison to Boruto, what is Boruto like? We look at this episode, right? He's pretty much just being a carbon copy of his father at the moment. Again, things can change, and they will change, you know what I'm saying? But at the moment, he's painting the Hokage mountain. He's a brat. I ain't gonna lie, I thought for a second, and it was funny because it genuinely gave me a chuckle. So if that was what they were trying to do, they succeeded in the moment where Boruto and Sarada are going at it, and then Boruto's like, you know what? If I go anymore, I'm gonna die. Let's shake it out. You know, it's cool, whatever, you know. And then when she goes to shake, it was a shadow clone, and he's like, sucker, and he's going to paint the Hokage mountain. Hilarious. Great stuff, but that's also just like some shit Naruto would have done, you know what I'm saying? Naruto was a clown, he was, you know, disobeying people and shit like that, so he's more like a copy of Naruto, opposed to Sarada, that she has her own struggles, she has her own thing, is like very different from even Sasuke and shit like that. So yeah, of course she's the Sharingan thing, whatever, but it's a very different case. So that's why I advocate so much for Sarada, and I hope she gets a lot more screen time in the future, because she's an awesome character. And again, this episode, just seeing her training, seeing her aiming for her goal, all good shit with Sarada, but there was, of course, a lot more to this episode than just Sarada and Boruto, although I did like the little fight that they had. It kind of was like a very playful, and I guess almost showcasing of how the times have changed. So just to focus a little bit more in this situation, if you think about it, because of the conversation that the 5 Kage, the Go Kage, so to speak, were having, it does make sense, and it showcases within this how things have changed and how the new generation is very different. Boruto and Sarada, being the son and daughter of Naruto and Sasuke, they're having their little fight, and it's over the stupidest shit. It's over like her trying to stop Boruto from being a little brat and painting the Hokage mountain. Very, you know, chill and normal, like, kiddie shit. Naruto and Sasuke were trying to fucking kill each other back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Sasuke tried to snap Naruto's neck, pile drive that motherfucker into the ground, was trying to kill him. So very different situation there, and it does showcase that these times of peace has made things different. Now, let's transition, this great transition over to the Gokage and what they were saying about, again, this generation, about how they're not ready. Honestly, even though they were trying to defend it and shit like that, I gotta kind of agree more so on the stance of this generation really isn't ready. Because opposed to the last generation, yeah, there was some peace, but there was still some really heavy shit going on. Just look at Zabuza and Haku. Orochimaru was still on the loose, kidnapping kids and doing all sorts of shit. There was a lot of fucked up things. There was some dangerous missions. Nowadays, you ain't really having that. So the experience, because there's no better experience like actually being out in the field. Reading a textbook isn't going to give you the same advancement and growth as actually being out and doing what the textbook is describing. So even back in the last generation, where Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura were going out on these missions, and they ran into Zabuza and Haku, and they had Orochimaru, and everything that happened in those times, and then of course Pain Invasion and everything in Shippuden and shit like that, that helped to mold that generation. This generation, they're sparring over a fucking a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, it's very, very different times. So I honestly, even though they were advocating that, hey, look, they said the same about our last generation. Yeah, it was kind of half and half, because I do remember a lot of people were hyping up Gaara as a kid. A lot of people were hyping up a lot of that generation too, of like, hey, they're kind of something. They're going to be something. And it's always been that the next generation is better than the last. Can we say the same about this generation? Because they don't have the experience. They're living in times of fucking peace. And it was cool. The montage of showcasing Chocho training, Sarada training, Boruto, everything. It was cool, but I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced that this generation has what it takes if they had to go up against the threat of like something even greater than Kaguya. Come on, Naruto and Sasuke, they were practically gods, and they struggled just to seal that bitch away in the fucking moon. Imagine Boruto and Sarada. Come on now. Now, granted, they are younger, because we also got to take into account these kids are of the same age, or slightly younger, around the same age as Naruto episode 1. And if you go by that logic, well, maybe, you look at it, well, Boruto would kick the shit out of episode 1 Naruto. My opinion. I guess that's another thing that we could debate and argue about, and I'd love to see what you guys have to say. I think personally Boruto would kick the living shit out of episode 1 Naruto before he even got the seal to really know how to do Kagebushin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. I think Boruto would kick the shit out of him. So in that regard, maybe I just right here completely destroyed my argument about this generation. Because if you think about it, if they're doing all this great shit and Sarada already has Sharingan, even though I think Sasuke? Yeah, he already had his Sharingan. I can't even remember now, but either way, they're showing way more potential at Academy days than Naruto and them showed during being Genin days. So in that regard, I gotta give it up to this generation. Now that I think about it, I forget sometimes that as of right now, they're not even Genin yet. They're still Academy students. So that's some great shit there. As a whole, the episode seemed to go Kage. Really cool shit. Really had me excited. And it was like, I was curious how I'm going to feel about this episode in comparison to the greatness that we had with the last few episodes of that arc of Sarada Gaiden and shit. But it held up. It was nice. It was pretty good. Seeing, the Gokage, seeing people fanboying. Personally, think I prefer the old Kage over them for the most part, and I think that they were stronger. If I compare like Raikage versus, or this Raikage Darui versus I think A would wreck them and shit like that. I'm just saying. And also, a quick argument. This is a third battle argument I'm throwing in this video. Hey, this is a battle argument video, not a review. No. It's interesting that all of these Kage, the new Kage especially, they've all gained these positions. Sasuke, he's not a Hokage, he's nothing, he's just a wandering shinobi, even though they regard him in a very high level. I mean, look what Gaara said, hey, where's Sasuke? He's supposed to be here and shit like that. Sasuke will wreck them. Sasuke, the only one that'll give him trouble is Naruto, but rusty-ass Naruto nowadays, can he really take the boy Sasuke? I don't know, that's another thing. I think right now the anime is doing a great job with this episode, and the past few episodes that mentioned it as well, with building up the Boruto Naruto the movie recap that we're going into. Not that we really necessarily want it. I know none of us really want that shit. We've already seen it, we read it, blah blah blah, but at the very least, they're doing a really good setup, which could flesh things out and make it maybe even more enjoyable and more entertaining than what it was in the movie. It's just, again, it's content that we're retreading over and over and over. So in that regard, it's like, it was a really good setup. Naruto's warning of the White Zetsu army that Kaguya needed to fight whatever was coming their way, and the Gokage kind of getting worried because I don't believe in these Gokage. Like, if you even go back, Tsunade, all of them, they fucking got wrecked by Madara, and these people I don't feel are on the same level as even that previous, aside from like Naruto's better than Tsunade. Chojuro, I believe his name is. I don't think he's as good as the previous Mizukage and shit like that. So it's like, it's gonna be interesting to see how they incorporate everything. But as a whole, the episode, I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good job of setting things up for what's to come, and I like seeing the Boruto and Sarada stuff. I just really wish that this was called Sarada Naruto Next Generations or some shit like that, or Boruto and Sarada Children of Naruto and Sasuke, some shit there, because I like Sarada a lot and she's a great main character. Right now, Boruto is slightly below her, but kind of curious what you guys thought about this episode. What do you think about seeing the Kage? What do you think about this adaptation of chapter 700 that really wasn't an adaptation? We didn't get to see Naruto coming down the mountain and, you know, stopping Boruto with the paint and shit like that. And your overall thoughts of the episode, and a lot of the questions I posed. Who's a better character for main character? Sarada, Boruto? Who would take it? Naruto or Sasuke? Like, a lot of interesting questions, and your overall thoughts about this generation compared to the previous generation in the Narutoverse. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.